Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. Now in this video I'm gonna be painting this frame over here, and this is the free frame that I got with Wargames Illustrated issue 458 February 2026 for free. And this is basically the Soviet infantry frame for bolt action. As you can see over here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 torsos. So you can actually build 6 miniatures. You got some heads, right? You got a selection of weapons, and in this selection over here, you have your Pepe Shah 41s. Am I saying that right? You know, stuff like I think this is the Pepe Shahs. You know, there's one more right there, and yeah, so you got that, and then you got the PPSs, PPS 43s, mostly Nagants, the rifles. You got SVT 40s, you got a DP 27s, and the PTRD 41s, which I think so it's a nice little spread of weapons. If you're intending to build a full infantry group with rifle, I don't think there are enough rifles to go around, to be honest. But the heads though, we've got 6 heads here using the caps, right? And this is basically the caps for the People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs. There's basically the internal police, you know, or the secret police. Then you got the heads with the helmets, right? And then you got some with the side caps, 2 female heads here, one with a, you know, one with a bandaged head, but their heads there's another head over there, and they're all these different bits over here. You know, you've got all those different pouches, pistols. You know, you have the little these are like I think they're like blankets or something like that. They put around them. And then you have the cloaks that they use, and they can be doubled up as tents, if not mistaken. And then a little dog there, you know, just to add variety to the frame. So yeah, so with just this one frame, I'd probably choose an option to go with maybe one of them being NKVD infantry. One perhaps I want to paint one of the female heads. I was initially thinking of going for a kneeling one to copy the look of the miniature that was adjusted in the Wargames Illustrated, you know, along with the cape, or the which I think is a nice look. Maybe one with the Mohsin Nagant, maybe one with the Pepe, one with the PPS, maybe one with the DP27. You know, just a nice variety. So everything will look slightly different. But what is also kind of neat in this set, you got things like this. Like you have that's a chicken right there, right? So they got another bit over here which I saw. Oh yeah, there it's holding on to a little like I think what it looks like a, I mean, to me it looks like a piece of meat perhaps, you know. So it's nice. It's interesting looking, interesting frame. But more interesting will be to put it together, which I intend to do. I'll put together the infantry, the 6 of them, show it to you, and then paint them, and that'll pretty much be the showcase. So let's get to it. All right, so almost all of the torsos in the frame look to be moving forward or in action mode, which is kind of cool. But you know, when you have a static miniature, it tends to stand out slightly. So the first miniature we're gonna have a look at is this guy over here. I'm calling this guy the Pillager. As you can see, he's got a little chicken or a fowl of some sort, and he's got a little bag over his shoulder. I went for a slightly older guy with grays in his hair. But here's the thing though, when you have a frame that you don't have to build an army for, you can go to town and, you know, pretty much do whatever you want. And I gave this miniature a little bit of a, you know, a rogue vibe with him stealing you know, the file. And it's kind of great. The frame actually gives you that to put on if you like to put it on, and not worry about, you know, how it fits your army. So you can actually use this frame for a diorama or something, which I thought was really, really great. So next up is an infantryman dressed in a pilotka or field cap, and is carrying a PT-RD 41. So yeah, it's a sniper rifle. So since he's got a sniper rifle, I give him a binoculars, you know, to complement the weapon. Again, it's moving forward. So there's a little bit of urgency to the figure, which I quite like. Next up is a slight tribute to Lyudmila Pavelchenko, or Lady Death, which she actually had 309 kills, man. She's so this is the Red Army female sniper. So it's just a tribute. I wanted a female sniper just because. But here's the thing though, I did not want to give the miniature plush palatka or cape tent, simply because that would be too much and this figure would stand out if compared to the other miniatures from the frame, right? Yeah, but I think it turned out quite nice. The blonde hair though, yeah, yeah, it was not easy to do the blonde hair, but I like how the miniature turned out. Looks quite nice, very, very nice. And then we have the NKVD officer. Pretty much standard, you know, internal affairs, you know, party officer, party soldier. I tried to keep his trousers as clean as I could, you know, this, you know, authoritative figure. There was a piece on the frame where they supplied a bullhorn or a megaphone. I wanted to put that one on, but instead went with the pointing figure. I thought was subtle. Like I said, I didn't want anything to really stand out, because I've got only 6 figures to work with, and if one stands out, then, you know, it'd be quite a shame if compared to the rest. Now this next figure is kneeling, and it's one of the figures that has a backpack. Now backpacks were not often issued to the Soviet soldier, so I just thought this guy should have one. He's armed with a DT-29 machine gun. I knew that I had to have at least one infantryman with this machine gun, and yeah, this figure looks quite nice. The composition looks quite nice. It looks like he's ready to go full action mode, and I think putting the backpack on this particular figure makes sense. Finally, we have the average Joseph. Now he's the only one with the skatka, or the rolls. The frame gives you 2 of these rolls. So like I said, I want each figure to be sort of unique, so only give one miniature this the skatka. It's basically a tube that, you know, you put the grey coat, their grey coats in, and it's kind of cool because, like the previous figure that actually had a backpack, you know, infantrymen that did not have a backpack used a skatka to store their grey coat. So yeah, this is the average standard infantryman. And finally, you got the little hound, or the dog. I didn't want him to be too fancy. I mean, the sculpt is pretty standard. It's pretty simple, standard looking, you know, hound or dog to accompany I think he'll probably accompany an NKVD officer. But it was nice. It was nice to paint something like this, and it's nice that the frame actually gives you a dog to add to your army. All right, so that's pretty much the frame. I really do enjoy doing this free frame paintings. Not because it's a free frame, but it gives me a chance to paint something new, something I never thought I'd be painting, and for me to paint a Soviet infantry frame, not anytime soon. So this was really nice to try. As always, if you enjoyed content like this, like and subscribe. And as always, don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.